What is Ninja all about? Why are people so excited? You know, we have a phrase at Ninja that says, everybody likes to buy and nobody likes to be sold. And so I've been in the real estate business about 40 years, and I looked through the history of every training I ever went to, and it was always about prospecting, about how to gain customers, how to overcome objections, how to learn new selling techniques. And Ninja really changed the way we looked at the whole thing and said, wait a second, if nobody likes to be sold, why do we spend so much time teaching us how to sell? So we have four principles at Ninja. The first one is to stop selling and start attracting. The second one is we're going to focus our entire business on building relationships with people that we already know. The third is that we're going to be customer-centric, and the fourth is we're going to pursue a path of personal mastery. And when you really look at that, almost everybody I know who's in sales, especially in real estate sales, really likes the process of helping people sell a house or buy a house, but nobody likes really the idea of I'm in sales, because I probably have to say that most people don't respond positively to the term salesperson or a pitch man or any of that. So what Larry Kendall, who designed the program, realized is, wait a second, if we could make a system where people don't have to do something that fundamentally makes them uncomfortable, which also makes the people that they deal with uncomfortable, we'd be onto something. And the reason our adoption is so spectacular is that when you start to learn the system, you go, wait, I'm not doing that thing that I don't like, and I'm not doing that thing that my customers don't like, which makes it really user-friendly.
Okay, so I always like to say, and I don't know if we're on the same track here, but I always like to say there's three important things, right? Leads, leads, and leads. So how does the Ninja system help you develop leads? It's completely different than purchasing leads and all that stuff, right? Like, what is the lead generation tool all about?
Well, our belief is that people like to do business with people they know, like, and trust. That right now, especially in 2018, everything is about, if I have a need for anything, I go to my friends first. And I say, who would you use? Who would you use? In the real estate business, it could be as simple as, I have a closing coming up and I've got a hot water heater that needs to be replaced. Who do you know that could do it fast and at a proper value? Well, what we realize is that the people that are best prospects for us are the people we know. And there's this really interesting thing that happens with realtors, is that we forget that the 200 people we know are really our best source of business. And here's an amazing statistic we just heard from Harris Interactive, that each person that I know is relatively close to 4 people who will need a realtor this year. So if I'm connected on a real level, and we're going to really differentiate between superficial connection and real connection. If I'm connected to 200 people, they are connected to 800 people this year who will probably do some sort of a real estate transaction. Buy a new house, sell a new house, buy a rental, sell a rental, any of those things. So our whole focus, it's our number 2 principle, is we have a business strategy focusing on people that we already know. And then we have a whole day-long process about how we stay literally in flow with those people. And if you can have a process and a system to stay in flow with them, we say you're going to have an overflow of clients coming towards you, frankly, more business than you can handle if you follow a process and a system to cultivate and maintain those relationships. As we say, one calendar sent on January 1st year does not a relationship make.
I agree. So that being the case, let me ask you this. So notoriously, when people start getting into business, they always tell me, well, I don't want to bug my friends and I don't want to bug my family. How do you feel about that?
Well, we believe that sentiment is correct. So the core Ninja principle is, how do I create value for people? We believe that people will pay money for 2 things, either to solve a problem or create pleasure. And that money flows to value, so that the whole core principle of Ninja is how can we create significant value for the people that we know, so they come to us rather than I chase them. Your key word was bug. Well, if you are chasing people and asking them for business all the time, that is not creating value for them. It's really all about me. And so in our customer-centric module, we recognize that if I can create value on a literally a weekly or a monthly basis for the people that I know, they will naturally seek me and prospect me. We have something called a pursuer, distance, or dance. When people are chased, what do they naturally do? They run away. And so all of the training I had for 40 years was prospecting. Well, prospecting is just a code word for chasing. And so when you chase people, they run away. I don't feel good at it as the chaser, and certainly our customers don't. So the idea is to focus on a system and a process of creating value so they seek us.
I like it. I like it. So another reason that I think people get into real estate, and they're always in for the surprise. So of course, friends and family and engaging them and building a relationship is important, and being willing to get that support. But also, I'm finding that a lot of people are they get a little disenchanted with the business because they realize somebody's advising them that they need to go knock doors, or they need to cold call, or they need to buy leads. Mm-hmm. This is pretty much the opposite of that, right?
It's completely the opposite of it. As a matter of fact, one of our beliefs is that when you are your best authentic self, it's when you are your most attractive. So we like to say that every training I ever went to, they said, well, there's one of the big training platforms in the country says, you have to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And you've got to get out of your comfort zone. Well, my experience is every time I'm forced out of my comfort zone, I will naturally revert to it in 2 or 3 days. So you go to a training, you hear all this stuff, and you go, I don't really want to do that, but I guess to be successful, I'm going to have to. Door knocking, all the things you just mentioned. You try it for about 4 days, and you go, I hate this. And that's when that moment comes where you go, if this is what's required to do this business, I'm tapping out right now. And which is why we have this gigantic revolving door in our industry, because really what we've been teaching people is unpalatable. And so we completely disagree with the notion that you have to get out of your comfort zone. At Ninja, we say, let's get more into our comfort zone, because when you are your best authentic self and creating meaningful value for people, you don't have to knock doors. You don't have to do those cold prospecting techniques that really turn us all off to the business.
I'm actually happy to hear that, because for me, like as a broker, sometimes I've talked to my clients, and I did have an agent leave because they said I did not push them into that uncomfortable zone enough. I wasn't forcing them to go knock doors and do that, but I always felt that if they're doing the things that they love, which is we're in the people business, and if they're making people happy and building relationships, then they're going to be more successful.
Adding value.
And so it's refreshing to hear that. So I mean, one of the coolest things about Ninja, and I just want to let you know, I've had multiple agents go through. My number one agent in 2 of my offices, 4 days long, correct? Mm-hmm. And both of them said, and they're over 300,000, I mean, great agents, tons of kids, I mean, they do it all.
Yeah.
And they said that they, not for one second wished it was over. They just said it could have kept going and going and going because they learned so much. And ever since then, their businesses have flourished. I mean, and they told me that Ninja has actually increased their business, they estimate about 30%. And doing it the right way. They're happy with themselves. They're balanced. So that's why I'm so happy you're here. And it's refreshing to hear that you don't have to knock doors. You don't have to make cold calls. You don't have to buy leads if you set your business up right now. Is this setup good for somebody that's new, for the medium agent, or for the top producer? Like, in your opinion, who's the best served by Ninja?
I'll give you the start of our concept here is that the real estate business can be really consumptive. It can, I call it sometimes an oil spill. It can coat your life. But instead of living to work, at Ninja our goal is to work to live, to fund your passion. Our core phrase is, let's increase your income per hour so you can have a lot. So let's go through the gamut of, I know one person who went through it 3 months before they got their license. And they said, that was really great because I could digest it without the pressure of getting my passing the test. When I saw it, I said to my now former partner, Mike Carter, if we had just known this from the beginning. So we think it's fabulous if you're 1 to 6 months in, because now you have a system and a way to do it. And then for the $1 million and GCI, not $1 million producers, but the guys, doing 40, 50 million, it finally is the same way to do it. So you're not working 24/7, 365, 20 years, and you go, man, I made a lot of money, but I forgot my kids' names. And so it is in this range, it's ideal for wherever you are in your career progression.
So that being the case, because how many agents do you get that are new and they show up, they've got their phone, they're ready to go, they show up at their desk, they quit their jobs, they're ready to roll, and then they get to the office the first day and they're lost. You know what? So you kind of give them a framework of how to build a business that gives you a balanced life, that builds relationships and is rewarding.
Well, where we really focus, and this is where the aha came for me, is the industry turns out this scads of what we call on-accident realtors. You get a real estate license, you learn nothing about how to be a realtor. Hopefully you go to a training company, but as we know, about 3/4 of the agents don't. And then they're, deer in the headlights. And even in a great training company, what we realized at Coldwell Banker Legacy, we give them snippets. And we have a big training program, but what Ninja did for me and why we've adopted it is it gives you a total process every day so you know what to do, how to do it, and the mystery's gone. The mystery's gone, so that it's like, what do I do on Tuesday? Well, follow the Ninja 9, do this, and then it's so relieving not to be panicking.
Okay, so let me ask you this, just because this is big. I mean, the fact of knowing what to do and having a business plan, that's what it's all about, right? So how long would you say the techniques and things that you train, how much effort does it require every day in terms of, the actions they need to do to keep the system going? I mean, it's probably minimal, right?
Well, the thing that's so cool, we say it's easy to do and it's easy not to do. I don't know if you've ever read Slide Edge, one of my favorite books of all time. The cool thing about our system, it's totally user-friendly. It's user-friendly for the agent and it's user-friendly for the customer. The problem with things that are easy to do, they're also easy not to do. But the reason we're so successful amongst all the training programs in the country is, it's like, I can do that. I can do that. When we finish 4 days and I recap and I go, is there anything we suggest that you do here? Wait, let's see. Be good to your customers. Have a system. Stay in touch with them by adding value and never asking them for business. We have scrubbed out any request for business. It's so counterintuitive because the thing that turns a great conversation in, right at the end now, Chuck, I said, oh, by the way, do you know anybody that's thinking of buying or selling? It would take a wonderful interaction and turn it into a pitch. And so we've removed all that stuff because in 2018, we believe that everybody knows how the world goes around and works. So that if you have created value for me, I naturally have that quid pro quo response of, here, let me help you out. And so the great part about it is, it only takes the consistency of focus, not the consistency of moving out of your comfort zone. So our results are spectacular. On average, the goal of Ninja Selling is to have you 20% up above the market. So if the market's up 20, you're up 40. We're on average up between 29 and 40% above the market.
Right.
Because it's easy to do.
Right, and that is true, and I know you did a big event down in San Diego, and that company has actually truly taken off since you were there, and they credit Ninja. So anyways, okay, so someone, a broker, an agent that's interested in getting involved or getting out and maybe attending one of the events, how should they go about that?
2 ways to do it. We like to do it at a company, which is really great because then you have people that are similar, but we have events going on all over the country. If you go to ninjaselling.com, click on events, you can see where they are. Some are obviously Coldwell Banker, some aren't. But just sign up and you show up and it's really simple.
Okay, sounds good. Ninjaselling.com,
Ninjaselling
events calendar, and now if somebody is not with a company that's doing this, there's plenty of opportunities though for the individual jump on.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
The cool thing is, like I said, for us, my people are super excited. I know for Coldwell Banker West, they have taken off like rockets.
Yep.
Everybody's been through it down there. I mean, probably over 100 and something people.
Yeah.
And they live in Dive. So, Peter, thank you very much for coming. And I'm super excited. Ninjaselling.com. And if there's any way that you're interested in doing it, go to ninjaselling.com, hit the events button. Peter Parnig is the best speaker.
Okay, so let's turn that light back on, guys. Oh, thank you. Just get used to this treatment. All right, so I know that's a little bit, I've listened to it several times, so I'm able to understand the content of it, but what do you guys get out of what he just said there? What did you hear? What's your questions? What was that video about? What are we talking about? Somebody, anybody? Jana?
I like what you said about when you're most authentic is when you're the most attractive to something like that.
So I listened to that too, I wrote that down. Whenever you're most authentic, is when you're most attractive. What does that mean to be attractive?
Attractive clients, potential clients, people to trust you and want to use you.
I mean, is anybody in the room, I know that we've got some new agents, but seasoned agents, ever just have the phone ringing and you just can't stop with all the business that's coming your way? There's a thing that'll happen with momentum and with attraction where it's kind of an airy-fairy concept. You don't really know why. And when you're, like if you're athletic, they'll say being in the zone, say you just are on. That's another version of when you're being your authentic self. If you're uncomfortable and insecure and avoiding procrastinating, that's because it's not authentic. So like sometimes when I'm talking to agents about how to go get business, I go look around the room, somebody I might say, you know what, I think we should do an open house. There's some other people who would not do well with that open house. Now doing open house is an easy one for almost anyone to do, but what if it's just a waste of time and you're never gonna get a client from it, right? Somebody else, if you did talk about door knocking or picking up the phone and cold calling, there's just a big percentage of the agent population who will never succeed at that. And so why bother doing that, right? So, what else did you hear?
Create value for people.
Okay, so the systems, you guys understand this is a system, right? And one of the concepts behind the system is creating value. Well, how do we create value? What does it mean to create value?
Contribution.
Offering a service or product.
And that's kind of a generic concept, right? Who said something?
I said come from contribution.
Brian was saying.
Brian, what?
service.
Yeah, offering a service or product that they desire at that moment.
Offering something instead of wanting to get something, okay?
Cutting the,
I'm with you, I'm with you.
wants to buy or sell.
So here's the thing that I'm gonna say. I'm pretty well trained on Keller Williams systems. And I've told you guys, as is many, one of the ones that know me, we're a company of systems and models. That's really what made Keller Williams famous. It starts with the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, and then there's many other tools besides that one. And all Gary Keller did was see what agents are doing and articulate the system that they use. So if you look at, like Melinda, we were just talking about agent financials. She understands the agent financial system. If you go up the teams, they have to learn from the beginning how to first sell houses, then how to grow and get an assistant, and there's lots of processes that we learn. Okay, and so if you follow Keller Williams' Millionaire Real Estate Agent models, and they're just there, they're proven, we know they work. And so I think that there's all kinds of stuff in here that is relatable, and you know, this is not just a not Keller Williams system, it still is. We use our Keller Williams tools, and we find that a lot of the agents don't use the systems. So if I go to a database, how many of us in here use our databases at a high level? So if you think that you use your database at a high level, raise your hand. Melinda, you think you use yours? Brian, you think you use yours? Jane, you're a little bit hesitant to raise, but you're working on getting there, you're mastering it. I know you guys over here do, what do you think you are in your database?
Not where it need to be, but.
You know, like I used to find mine at about a 50% if I were to give it a grade. You know, and I had in 2 different states and however many people in the database, I could have watched, you know, I was pretty much a master of how the system works. And at the same time, did I call my past clients quarterly, or all those things that we know is the system. So whenever I first started studying Ninja, about the same time I became team leader, and Ruth and Donna Story went to what he's talking about at installation. Let's say you use Defina. Let's say I go talk to one of the teams who spends a lot of money on lead generation, whatever system it is that they choose, Tiger Leads or whatever they're called these days, right? There's tons of things that you can do. They will have a system of the lead, the follow-up, the nurture, the contract to close. All these are systems. And if you're an agent who, let's say you're below $3 million a year in sales, as an example, you probably just don't quite have your systems in place. You're maybe running at what percentage of your systems are set up. You know you need to work on them, you know you ought to do it. So when we got into Ninja, we saw a really simple system that isn't too techy. Now, I'm not a techie person, but at the end of the day, it's a bringing value to the people we know and not going off and chasing people who we don't know. So what he said there, one thing he said, was if you had 200 people in your database, people. So if I went around the room and said, how many people do you have in your database? These are 200 people that you know you, that you like, that like you. This is not all of the internet leads who you've never met, who you only have an email address for. If you had 200 people, that's a potential of 800 sales in your database from these people with an easy system to follow up with them. What do I mean by easy system, okay? This is what Ninja is, it's just a system to follow up. And can you grow it higher than this? Yes, but this should make you $200,000. So this, when I say 200 people, I think of it as 200 households. There might be 2 people in the same household. And let's just say it's a renter. I'm probably not gonna call it as strong of it should be 1,000 per household for the system. And the system is proven, so that's another thing that we like. So then, let me go to a PowerPoint to give you an idea of what it is. If you think you completely understand what it is, raise your hand. Because I'm still, even after studying it for a year, kind of getting where I feel like I can train on it.
The concept of the 200?
No, just the Ninja system. What is the Ninja 9? What am I talking about you guys actually doing every day?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I think those videos help, because that,
You watch the habit
the
videos.
9, and that puts it all back in an outline for you.
So I'm gonna go over that here shortly as we.
Every day.
Mhm.
And for me, the main thing is what we're discussing on of being more positive, is that 25 times writing that affirmation. How
I
many
agree.
people do that?
So one thing I'm gonna ask you guys, whoever actually says, hey, I want to do this, and that's one of my goals for the Market Center is to take it to the next level. We basically launched it last quarter, learning it, studying it. Ruth and Donna Story just went to installation. It's called, if you did go to an installation, I would bring one here, but it costs about $700 per agent, I think, somewhere around that. And it's a 4-day thing, all day, 4 days. I'd have to have everybody be kind of like Bold, only Bold is over several weeks. This is a 4-day all at once.
Right.
Okay, so let's just say we had, I think 100 people have to do it or something. Say I got that done, and then you guys launch into it. We're basically just bringing it to you. You don't get that immersion that happens in the 4 days. If you did want to do it, we can find you a location. I watched to see where they are. I haven't done one yet. However, I'm basically teaching you what it is. So here's what it is. Increase your income per hour, increase your customer satisfaction, improve the quality of life. Our goal is for you guys to make $175,000 a year per agent. This is what the statistics are. Now, here's how the statistics can get skewed. If I have people who don't do it and don't do anything, then what happens? You have to actually say, yes, I'm gonna do it. So say I looked at Millionaire Real Estate System, and I just grabbed the red book and I said, hey, here's it. It's a 33 touch, it's an 8x8. I can spew off a bunch of stuff from the REA. And you guys actually said, I do that. I do that religiously. You have the similar results, right? This one is just kind of simple. And that's what we like. And also, I want to do a bunch of it for you. Okay, what if you could be a very successful salesperson without putting yourself in a position of being rejected by your customer? This is just basically the opposite of prospecting. You don't have to call people and ask them to do business with you. What I was saying is when one of you guys gives me a lead to call somebody who wants to talk to me about either being a realtor or coming to Keller Williams, how easy is that call for me to make? As opposed to call an agent who doesn't know me or doesn't want to know me and talk to them about coming over here, right? It's the difference of that distancer. He was talking about a distancer, what's it called? Attraction and distance dance that you do. If I call you and you say, no, I don't want to go to Keller Williams, and then I call you again, you go, yeah, still not going to come to Keller Williams. About the third time, you just don't answer the phone with me ever again, right? Because you distance yourself from me. Or if every time you see me down the hall, I say, hey, can you do me a favor? And it's about me, right? And I'm not giving you anything. So as a brokerage, we want to give you value as well. So this is just the concept of the system, right? It's a documented, proven process since 1984, gives you predictable results if you work it. So regardless of your personality type, regardless of your insecurities, regardless of your style, regardless of your knowledge, if you look at the Keller Williams system and you look at the Ninja system, and I could combine them back and forth together, both of them proven systems that work if you work the system, okay? Principle number one, person and master. Your success in sales and life largely functions your ability to control your thoughts and your energy. Ninja teaches you how to run your brain and program yourself for success. It starts while learning how to focus your energy so you're able to bring your best and the best in others. This is what Melinda's talking about, affirmations. So the brain science behind it. It's not like, we're all metaphysical hippies around here. But there's brain science that says what you ask for, you receive. So you might ask for it in various ways. Melinda was talking about negativity. We all believe, I think, really, if you go ask any real estate agent of years, any amount of production, how much of our business is our mindset. How much of the time do we say, yeah, I'm in the game or I'm not in the game? Yeah, I'm in my zone, I'm not in my zone. Yeah, I'm in a funk, I'm not in a funk. I don't know, things are going my way, things are not going my way. There's a whole lot of mindset that happens. So if you're in the room and you've been in real estate more than a year, how much do you believe is mindset? Somebody say that's been in the business more than a year. Melinda, what do you think?
Yeah, it definitely.
What do you think, Laura? Mindset. How big of a deal is that? Huge, right? What do you think, Weaver?
90%.
90%, Barbara. I mean, can we say it's a big thing?
Yeah.
And so like my coach, I'm lucky enough now that I'm a team leader that I get a coach as part of my salary. So I have a $1,000 a month MAPS coach. You guys may or may not know that. So I get to talk to those people and they're beyond, And so I mean, probably 90% of the time we talk about my mindset, right? And that coach, whether I have a female coach, she'll say, what do you do when you get off? I kind of call it off track.
Get broke.
How long does it take you to get back on sometimes?
A long time,
You know?
sometimes.
And like say we start working out and dieting right this time of year, and how long do we stay on track and we're feeling good and doing well? We know all the results we want, and one day we don't work out, and the next day we don't work out, so that spirals one way or the other. Sometimes I talk about accountability because that's what I think the gift of the coach is that you have to get in the face of what you say you want. And that can suck. Can be great, but most of the time it's hard. And I would encourage you, who in the room has an accountability person in your world? Anyone? Sort of is one person. Jane has a sort of? Jane, how come your little hands is like this?
It all needs work.
So Stephanie Miller does some accountability with me. Brian Richardson stuff does accountability with me. I have it every day because I report my numbers to region every day. So for years I had an accountability partner once a week who I just checked in on those simple goals. And that's a hard thing to find and it's a valuable thing to have. I'd like to introduce some accountability for you guys. You would have to say that you want it. So, stop selling, start solving. People love to buy, they hate to be sold. Customers are attracted to value. Ninja System teaches you to stop selling and start learning to create value. So if I sat here right now and we did a business plan, so an agent earlier today goes, run to a business plan, are we? Well, if you did one, and you said, what could I do that would bring my clients value? Say you knew 200 people in your database. Let's just say you actually knew them. Or say your number is 50, say your number is 100. I don't necessarily care what your number is, I want it to be true people that you know. So you have to first determine how many people you believe you know. How many past clients do you have? Start there. So I could probably go to past clients and go, well, I got 100 past clients. Okay, do I still know them? I've been to talk to them. And how some people I sold last year I haven't talked to them, right? So then you start with, okay, well, I really know my brother, I'm putting him down. I mean, my brother buys a house, his friends buy houses, right? He's a true person in my database. So now what could I do that would bring value to them? Is a email that's happy holidays of value? I don't think so. I find a lot of people unsubscribe when those go out. I know when I get them, I kind of don't like them. So emails are very low value right now until the day they're looking for houses. Then sometimes they'll find that valuable. So you've got to first think about, okay, what can I bring of value? Your principle 3 teaches you a business strategy. Well, so it's a strategy. It's a process. It's a system that teaches you a business strategy. Will generate a continuous flow of customers coming to you. Focuses your attention on people you know, and then you spend your time, money, and energy. You do spend some money and some time and some energy on the people, right? And then building the relationships. So, like I was reflecting on my first year as team leader, so I've had a year now and I'm going into my second year. I would say what I did for the most of my last year was develop relationships with you guys and with other agents in the community. And then now I'll go to another level this next year. A lot of times your first year and first few years as a realtor, I'm sorry, you spend it not making a lot of money as you get going. You guys believe that? If they've been in it a while, that first 12 months is hard, right? Because you're building relationships. Connect and communicate. Ninja's built around science and customer, what they want, the value they want, how they make decisions. Teaches you a step-by-step process for buyers and sellers that helps them make good decisions. This is the mastery part. I felt like I had a pretty good concept of listing presentations, buyer presentations, negotiations, things like that for me as an individual agent. And I have found lots of things that I've listened to these videos over and over and I still go, wow. It's so simple and it's so true. So if you right now think that you have a kick-ass listing presentation that you would come up here and show this whole class, raise your hand. You guys just love your listing presentation? That's what we want to do, is give you one that you love. All right, so it seems to sell real estate. Here's what a ninja person is. There's a reason if you read the book that they call it ninja. It came from a guy who shouldn't have even been able to be a realtor. You'd look at him and go, yeah, you're not gonna make it, dude. Who did the most sales? The Larry Kendall, who is behind Ninja, has the most agents, his agents make the most per agent, okay? He came up around the same time Gary Keller. Gary Keller said, I'm gonna have a company that is the #1 in the world. Larry Kendall said, I'm gonna have a company that has the most income per agent. Both of them hit their goals. Both of them are driven people. So his system, I think he also takes people out of the system that don't do it. Kind of like Bolt's numbers do. They fail you if you don't show up. So that's philosophical. So the Ninja seems to sell real estate without effort, has fun, and makes it fun. If you guys have ever seen an agent who doesn't even look like they do much, and they just sell the heck out of real estate, I've known them, and I look at their numbers sometimes as team leader, and I go, how the heck? Like, they don't even seem like they work, and they're doing all these sales, okay? Has great customer satisfaction, obtains the most of their business from people they know, obtains most of their business from people they know. So those of you who still think property desk is a lead generation strategy, who, like for me, if I was gonna go have open houses, I'm meeting people I don't know yet, right? Well, that's adding to the people that you know. So you gotta know new people. Other people go away sometimes, they move out of the area. But you do, how much do you think your percentage, Barbara, last year's sales is people you already knew?
Probably 60%.
60, I would think probably higher.
I would think mine was all of it.
Yours, all of it. Mine, when I used to run my numbers, was typically 85%. I kind of believe in 15%, maybe even more, coming from farming, prospecting out, marketing, getting new people in. So Ninja wants you to have most of it be people you know, as far as the way the system works. Seldom talks by asking questions, is a great listener. This is a skill set. Asking great questions is a really interesting lesson to learn. How often we talk when we're in a conversation with people. That's part of the mastery pocket process. Knows their market, knows their customers better than anyone. How well you guys know your market. I talk to you guys about that pretty often, right? Is a master salesperson with subtle and user-friendly sales skills. So you do still master some skills. Committed to mastery and self-improvement, a student of the game. I think that the learning based, I'm willing to grow, I'm willing to learn, I'm receptive and open, is a big difference in some of the agents that I'll see success and non-success. You guys think you know it? I don't know many of you who know it. Focus on what works, practices the 80-20 principle. What does this mean?
Means 20% of the people are doing 80% of the work.
So 20% of the people do 80% of the business. Do we believe that's true? Mm-hmm. We believe that's true. 20% of the activities that you guys do make you 80% of your money, right? If you go to your closet, 20% of what you wear 80% of the time. 20% of your closet, wear 80% of the time. It's like a universal law that has been proven, a credible principle. So when you talk about your big rocks, when we use the word lead generation, that's just doing your activities that make you the money, right? And everything else you do is what? everything else. That 80% is a lot of stuff. So focusing on your 20%, time blocking, actually being purposeful, saying who I'm gonna contact and not being reactive to the phone ringing, but you know, you're gonna have your contracts and your stuff that's going on. So a lot of times I'll see agents who are busy, and yet not doing much business, me included, because you're messing around with all that stuff that actually doesn't make you money. Has a very high income per hour and a high net worth. I like that part. So when you have a high income per hour, that has to do sometimes with what you're spending your time on. Has a sales system and routine that produces consistent results. You guys ever yo-yo in your business? Why does that happen? You get really busy, you don't have time to do some other stuff. Then you get all those contracts closed out. And then you ramp up again doing the stuff that matters instead of consistently doing it anyway, right? Provide service that's relevant, customized, differentiated, value added. So part of what we want to do for you guys who follow the system is provide you with the relevant, customized, differentiated, value added materials. It's one thing I think about why people don't use the systems. It's because it's hard work. You gotta go create this stuff and plan it, like the planning and the making it. We want to do that with you and for you. How's a positive attitude in the life outside of real estate? Positive attitude, that's part of the mindset, right? I think it's easier to have a positive mindset when you're making a whole bunch of money. Program has the power to help you make money in your career, more importantly, change your life, alter your ability to connect deeply, honestly, with people in your work, so I think that might be world, I don't know. Be the best you can be. You find the key to unlock the best of you in Ninja. So, you guys have a handout here. I just want you to leave the room kind of knowing what I'm talking about. Why Ninja? I think I went over this. And this says the mission of Ninja to do 3 things. What if you could be successful? The system works, documented, blah, blah, blah. Here's the principles. So you guys, there's the principles is, first of all, there's a book. The principles are in the training each week on the calendar on Wednesdays. So there's principle 1 through 4. If you guys go to principle 1 through 4 class on Wednesdays, I would say go through it a couple of times before you really kind of get it. And then you'll be really able to, you know, this is not something that you're going to have to go through over and over and over and over and over. What is Ninja? I've basically gone over already, okay? So take a look at this perfect Ninja week. If you guys look right now at your calendar and you said your perfect week, here's where the Ninja 9 has to do with affirmations, which I think Melinda maybe talked about. So, well, and I'm going to play some of this in a minute for those of you that want to stick around and really get deeper into it. But let's just say you exercised, you got ready for your day, you wrote your affirmations. So the brain science behind the affirmations is that if you will write down what you want 25 times per day for 30 days, your brain will start to look for that to happen in your life. So I was telling Brian Richardson yesterday, we were talking, I said, so I've been trying it, and I know I love to call you out. So I put on my affirmation, I don't know if I'm good at this yet. I said, I'm so excited and happy because I gross 10 agents a month. So if you guys don't know what that means, it means that I'm supposed to bring in 10 agents a month. That's my job. If you guys see new agents coming in and there's less than 10, it means that I might get fired. So what would that look like in my life if I was able to do that each month? Okay? So then, as I thought about that affirmation, I said, is that really what would give me the life I want? Maybe I could ask for 2 or 3 top producing agents every month. Maybe I could look at it a little differently. So some of the affirmations, be careful what you wish for, right? You have to think about, what if I got 10 agents who completely are terrible agents in per month? Is that what I would want, right, for you guys? So if you write your affirmations, and if you guys want to write your affirmations, if you want a class on affirmations, if you want accountability on affirmations, I'm asking for accountability on mine. I know about 5 of us who are actually doing it. I'd like to try it and see who gets results from it. I told an example of one of my friends who was doing an affirmation that said, I'm so grateful that I've been able to give $1,000 away. So this person did not have a lot of money, but this was what his affirmation, he wanted to give someone $1,000. And I was like, wow, You know, could it be me? But then suddenly something happened in his life where $1,000 came in the mail, just over. So I was like, dude, could we actually see some real results? Well, we'd have to practice doing something and seeing what our results are. So let's just say you said, yeah, and I'm doing it. I'm gonna go, you know, if you wanna exercise every day, that's a personal choice. Anybody in the room think it's not a good idea? So maybe I'm a little, okay, fine. Getting ready for your day, writing your affirmations, and basically being in the office by 9 a.m. There's part of one of the habits that says show up. So let's just say you work at home. Could you show up into your own home office by 9 a.m.? And if you're, sometimes we'll talk to a realtor and you're in negotiation or something, they haven't even got started and it's 11 o'clock. You know, they're still organizing their sock drawer or something. That's a part about working at home. Maybe you have kids, I mean, I'm not saying you gotta do it, but you'll find the people that make money and are professional tend to start their mornings at a normal hour. So you write for 2 personal notes. This is part of your Ninja 9. So anybody in the room consistently write 2 notes a day? One of you do? How long have you been doing it?
For a long time, I'm just a note person.
You've always done it?
I've always done it.
Okay.
Ours, mostly.
Brian, you're into it?
Started about a month and a half ago,
Okay.
and probably of the things that I have done, that gets the most exclamation. People will call back and they're intentional. They're like, wow, that was a cool note, it was goofy as hell, do it again. You know, that was
So
fun,
any
and
kind
they
of personal
remember
note
that.
to any person, if you guys actually committed to doing it and you wrote 10 a week, you'd be sending 100-ish personal notes a year. I find this one very difficult. That's not my personality style. I'd rather talk on the phone. I'm a bottom line results person. I don't really want a note from someone, and I don't want to write a note. However, I have found when I get notes, I keep them and I like them. And they do a little thing to me when I see them. And then whenever I give them to other people, they react like they like them.
It's
Jana?
like Christmas cards.
I know, don't we like getting the Christmas cards?
So, Brian, so, can I ask you
Uh-oh.
a favor for everyone to have a 1-hour session with some note ideas?
Okay.
Stephanie, what do you say?
Wow, that was fun. Let's do some
Why
more
did
of
Stephanie
that.
raise her hand? Hold on.
Well, you know, it's such a big growth
I'm-
thing for me, too.
Yeah, I'm about to get rid of my Buffini, but on the website, there's just tons of notes. So we could maybe, I don't know if they could be printed out or.
So those of you who stick around, because it's 10 o'clock, I'm gonna do this in the next hour where I actually play you and show you the Ninja 9 habits. It's like a 2-minute video and we go into what it is. And on the note writing one, there's a part that is note ideas.
Sure.
Like for me, I got a box of notes with different blank things. And what's interesting is when you start doing it, all of a sudden people will pop into your head that you haven't thought about in a while. Or you'll start to listen for people that need a note.
Right.
And then you gotta have your notes
Or I
there.
think every morning when you're doing your, what do they call it, those first 5 things you do, and your gratitudes.
Your gratitudes.
You know, when you're thinking of who you're grateful for, that's gonna tell you who you need to write your notes to.
And I didn't start something about, yeah, I started about a few weeks ago. I'm not really good at doing everything that I'm supposed to, but I'm getting there. But I'm starting to really want to get up in the morning and do those affirmations and those, and get some of these boxes checked off on the calendar here. And I mean, for my own benefit, not just to check the boxes, but it's fun when you go at the end of the week and you see how successful you were. And that's why I like it, because it's out here,
Yeah.
and I sit there and on Sunday morning, I say, how did I do last week?
Right, so on the Ninja Planner, because this is a Ninja system planner, all of the stuff that we're talking about is here just right in front of you.
Yeah.
And I heard a long time ago, you guys have probably seen my messy office and that I always have a planner of some sort sitting there. It's because a long time ago, Gary Keller said, I don't care. He's a very tech person. They say he doesn't really do anything on a computer, but he only uses his telephone, and if it doesn't work on his phone, he wants somebody to create it. So he uses a written calendar at a glance. So does Larry Kendall, so do like the top CEOs in the world. So whenever I just learned that a long time ago, I said, okay, there's so many distractions that if I go in to send somebody, even like send somebody a text, and all of a sudden 15 minutes went by and I was like, who was I gonna text again, you know? So if you guys would consider the accountability of the planners, then what they talk about is leadership. Say I went into my leadership, say you guys considered me leadership, or whoever in your world, and you said, man, Anna, I'm having a bad first quarter, I just can't sell a house. And I go, hey, get your planner out, let me see what you've been doing. And you've contacted 50 people every week, and you've written 2 notes a day, then what would we say is going on? Because what you'll usually find, and it's 90 days behind, right? Is that, yeah, I was kind of slacking on in January, and now it's April, and I got back on track around March. I used to, as an agent, have my best quarter in the fourth quarter, because all year long I'd kind of get my act together, and then finally it would start to get momentum, because I wasn't doing it this time of year always. So here's what the Ninja Night is. Right to your, I don't know, it doesn't say the gratitudes on here. You start your day with gratitude, and it is your mindset for the morning. This is from Bold as well. Greg and I have done this for years, where we name 5 things to each other every morning that we're grateful for. We've done it for a long time, because one time when I was Bold, I said, hey, would you be open to doing it? Because what is it? It's accountability. And when you start talking about what you're grateful for, it's hard. You can't really be negative at the same time.
Your cells eavesdrop on your thoughts.
They do. So waking up and writing your gratitudes, telling the person next to you what they're grateful for, and then as you come into the office, usually is when you sit down and write your 2 notes. For me, writing the notes in advance of who the notes are going to go to, so I don't have to think about who to write them to. And then make 13 forward calls. Listen for change, look for ways to add value. So what he has on this perfect week is 13 calls, 12 calls, 12 calls. So that adds up to your 50, I guess. I didn't do the math, but I'm gonna guess it does.
What does sports stand
Family, occupation, recreation, dream. So basically, I'm gonna call Weaver up, and if you guys have seen the staff doing this, I'm trying to model it for you guys when we make our calls. I have the staff calling you once a quarter, as what we're teaching here. So I call Weaver, hey, it's Anna. You go, hey, Anna. You know, how's family? Did you have a good Christmas? You say yes and tell me about a grandkid or whatever it is you say. And then I say, what's going on with work? You back at work yet? Whatever you say. Do anything fun? Did you go anywhere? Going anywhere? And then dreams is the one that I think people have the hard time asking about, but it's just basically asking about future plans. You got any vacations scheduled this year? What's your plan for 2019? What's gonna go on? Man, we're gonna go to Colorado for sure this year. This is a simple conversation. If you do deep dive forward training, you keep it to 7 minutes to make your calls in time. So I haven't looked at Ninja this is just my KW training. But if you're doing business to business, they do a similar thing, but this is just basic sales training of, why am I calling you, right? Do you need something? No, just saying hi. How's family? How's life? What's going on? Anything? No, everything's good. Talk to you later. So let's say I was your financial planner, and I called you once a quarter. Would you hate me? Now, if I call you every day, yes, you're going to hate me, but it's basically a once a quarter call. So you're doing 50 a week. So who are the 50? When you go into your 200 people divided by, like, this is what we learn in Never Ending Referrals. Sometimes your 50 people are people you're doing business with. So you're actually going to do some of this, but also talk about the contract you're under. So when you get purposeful about your 50 a week, this is not easy. I don't think it's 13 a day. Brian, you said it's easy. Why is it easy for you?
Well, I mean, again, it's getting back to what Terry said. I'm looking, instead of the phone weighing 10,000 pounds, I'm calling people I want to talk to. And I want to find out, you know, hey, how was the soccer game? You know, how'd y'all's deer hunt go? I want to find that out. And keeping
How
that
do you
in
have
there.
enough to do 50 a week? How do you break it 13 a day? So it's easy kind of when you start, but
Well, I mean, I've been doing this once, and I got 1,500 in my database.
okay, so you got a big enough database.
Yeah, I mean, and the idea is it's not that difficult to create that, but getting back to getting into relationships, not looking for the real estate right first. That's not what I'm looking for.
My suggestion, they would come to Never Ending Referral, they could start using
The letter groups.
The letter groups.
So never ending referrals basically is the exact same thing in that it breaks your database into letter groups.
What she
So that
said.
you call them once
And
a
you can get
quarter.
13 out of that.
And if you have enough people in your database to make 13, you'll find it's not so hard as it sounds. It's just that where am I gonna get the 13? Once you talk to them and set the reminder for next quarter, if you go by your letter groups, it pops up. So you can sit here right now and say, okay, Anna, fine, I'll do it. And I'll say, well, can you come up with 50 names to call this week? Yes or no? If you're a brand new agent and you've just moved to town and you've never met a person in your life and you do not know one person, then what are we gonna have to do? We're gonna have to meet people. So it's basically, do you have enough in your database or not, is the difference between your sales.
Yeah, but you can also you can use tools like Facebook
Yeah?
to build that conversation. You know, you can go to Facebook, look a lead up and say, oh, it's just want to call, take a great picture of the kids, or I saw you got this award, or whatever.
Right.
And it might be somebody you might know, might have been in the paper. It's a perfect person to plug in and say, man, I saw your picture in the paper, congratulations on whatever.
So it becomes easy when you're not asking them for anything. All you're doing, so it's Facebook or social media, your social media strategies. So I love to get in, get out in social media in 30 minutes and find your 2 people to write a note to, add to your, if your hardest thing in your life is where to find 50 people, then that's the hardest thing. If you don't find it hard to find 50 people, if you took your database right now and you said, man, I got like 600 people, but I don't even know who 300 of them are, divide them into letter groups and start calling them each week, you'll scrub it out. It'll take you a couple of quarters. And then if you have to add, I think that's the hardest thing for agents is to, hey man, this is all great, but I need to sell some houses. Well, have you talked to your past clients and your people you know, or are you out there chasing other stuff? This is consistently done. We know that you will sell houses. There's anybody in the room not believe if you call 13 people 4 times a week, 50 people a week, you would not sell houses? Anybody say that's bullcrap, Anna? Weaver, what do you think? I talk to 50 people a week, every week. Would I sell houses?
Maybe one.
Yeah. Per week. And you know what, if property risk is a person, I think that that's okay to count that, put that in your database. You know, you've got to meet the people, they've got to know you. I think sometimes we get a little bogged down is it a lead, is it a contact, is it really one of my Fords? What I did was I made a form for my Ford and I put it in my database so that I remember. Sometimes I'll know you guys really well and not even know if you're married or not know which kid, if you have a kid or, you know, I'm so much more business oriented, that's my style. And I remember to ask about your family. So, gather 2 real estate reviews, call, set 2 appointments, gather 2 real estate reviews, call and set appointments to present each call. Call at clients under contract. I have a hard time reading this up this way. So basically, gather data for 2 real estate reviews. One of the Ninja 9 is to do 2 real estate reviews a week. So you're gonna be calling 50 people, as you can see, broken down on your day. So, you know, the challenge is it's 9 a.m. I wrote 2 notes. That took 10 minutes maybe at best, depending on how long of a note writing you are. Now I already have my 13 people that I'm gonna call. That is the biggest challenge, not to answer the inspection report email, not to start getting busy, but actually pick up the phone. I mean, for me, that is the hardest part of the day, get that done. And then gather data for 2 real estate reviews because your business plan is to provide 2 real estate reviews per week. So I go, hey Weaver, it's Anna, what's going on, how's Christmas? That's great, how's the family? They're fine, how's business? Yeah, it's good, you know, back to work. Right on, anything going on with your recreationally, you guys having fun? Yeah, we're gonna do something or other. Hey, I just wanted to see if a lot of times this time of year, people are looking back at their property, be happy to send you a current market value. You want me to send you a analysis of how much your house is worth? What are you gonna say, yes or no? And if you say yes, I've only got to do 2 per week. And then what we're saying is not a CMA, not a listing appointment, just let people know their house is worth. You've seen that lately. Of your 50 people, could you get 2? So what Stephanie was saying is that she just says whoever I'm gonna see this week. Say I'm going to lunch with someone or one of the people of my people that I know I'm going to see this week for some reason. I just do a little review. Hey, I just sent you a Kelly snapshot. Or you don't have to do like a quick CMA even.
KW Stats.
KW
Can you-
Stats.
If they don't know about that, it's really awesome.
Right.
And then you can hit your Snap, Kelly Snap with that.
So what if, when you're writing your note, you send them a little thing? Now, it's nice if you do it in person, because there's nothing that will replace in person, so the concept is in person. But you basically say, hey, Weaver, I got a neighborhood, how's the market doing? Just a quick little overview, I'll pop that in mail to you, or you wanna go to lunch this week? Yes or no, whatever you say. Hey, I'm gonna text you a little market snapshot right now for your neighborhood. That's it. Remember, we're not talking about going and spending a whole bunch of time researching their house. Now, if they want a true, you'll listen in the conversation for, hey man, actually, we've been thinking about selling this year. Could that happen? But you have to feel like you're giving value and not that you're asking them for anything.
And so they
Right.
say to go in person.
Well, this says to go in person to do a real estate review. So,
Did you, have you shown them kwstats.com?
yeah, I show it every Tuesday.
Okay.
I have it in the
haven't seen
training
it.
room,
All
print
right.
it out. So, I think you guys know about it because of me.
I met with Ruth.
I know, I'm just
Private
teasing.
things, so.
Okay, so review hot and warm lists for property matches on new listings, make appointments. So the hot list and the warm list, this is some of your ninja training guides that you'll get during your skills groups, but this is your day. I review my hot list and my warm list. So what's a hot list and a warm list? Hot is somebody who is buying a house, they just haven't found it yet. Or they're gonna list their house, they just haven't listed it yet. So your hot list is people are coming up. If I said, hey, you got anything happening? You go, yeah, I got a listing coming up. Yeah, I got a buyer who's looking right now. That's your hot list that you're not gonna forget to follow up and talk to those people. You guys ever had somebody who you knew was gonna list and then you end up actually kind of letting them fall through the cracks? The concept of this is that you review it daily, it stays in your mind. All of those people in your database, and 13 people and none of them selling a house, but you didn't call the people who you actually know are going to, right? Well, it happens. So you're reviewing that hot list. If somebody goes on the hot list, it means they are going to buy or sell a house, and you know it. Sometimes you might know somebody on the hot list and they have not agreed to work with you yet. You just know they're gonna buy or sell. The warm list is basically somebody who you think is gonna buy or sell, but you're not sure. They have a sign of change in their life, like they're going through a divorce, their kid just went to college. There's a whole list of what causes somebody to be on the warm list. Yes.
Going back to the calls, this would be a good time to, one of the things to talk about would be like the appraisals, tax appraisal.
Right.
And, as far as the value, I don't need to know the value of my house. Well, you're going to get your tax appraisal this year. So-
Right, so does that sound like an easier call to make than just I'm calling for no reason, or do you know
Right.
anybody that wants to buy or sell a house? Or I just want to remind you that I'm a real estate agent.
And another thing is the people you sold last year, they need to be sure and get their homestead exemption in.
So when you have your flow pieces, which we didn't go over yet, but you have quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, and quarter four. Quarter four, a lot of people do holiday stuff. Pie Day, pop buys, Christmas cards, all kinds of different stuff that usually is pretty easy to contact your clients. Quarter one, something of value to send to someone or a reason to communicate with them. So if you guys will actually create your 4 for the year, which is what is part of the plan. So just the taxes conversation this time of year makes perfect sense. And then what would you do quarter two, quarter three? Maybe you do holiday. I'm not saying this is what you do, but as an easy couple that I see done. And then for quarter two and quarter three, you know why people get so much money out of that holiday is because they actually contact people that time of year. It's not because all of a sudden all these people are doing a bunch of business, it's just that you're in communication with them. So you're reviewing your hot and warm list. So say, Barbara, I call you up and I say, hey, Tana, and I'm just touching base, and how's the family, and what's going on? And, I like to just offer to send a current value to my clients, friends, whatever it is you are. This time of year, we'll be reviewing, everybody tends to ask me this time of year, want me to pop that in the mail to you, yes or no? During that conversation, you say, oh, you know what? I think my niece is gonna buy a house. You just made me remember that. So can some sales come out of those conversations? Nothing to do with the client call, right? Don't forget they know 4 people. So if all you did was call, how are you? and I'm just wanting to send you a tax thing, that's where the forward comes in. The point of the forward is that people will tell you things and you will listen for, oh, and they might move to your warm list because of it.
And you didn't even ask them a question.
And you didn't ask them a question, you were just asking them about their family and their work. What if somebody said, I just got a new job, and it's an hour away, or whatever?
Are you gonna commute?
Or I got a new job and it's more money, it's less money. You know, there's just so many things. And you've got to have those conversations, and you've got to have them on the phone or in person, and you have to have a conversation, and it can't be a text, and it can't be an email, and that's what sucks, is that you guys have to use your telephones.
And your
you have to
voice.
be your voice, and you have to be in person. You know, on the phone or in person.
Yeah, it's just a quick question. On the 2 notes, are those like handwritten and then send them in the mail type
2
of thing?
handwritten notes sent in the mail.
Okay.
Yes. So, you did that every day, you made your calls, on Monday, you gathered your data for the 2 real estate reviews, whatever it is you're sending. So to Barbara's point, you know, you don't want to do your whole database on Monday, January 2nd, or Wednesday, January 2nd. You want to divide it up so that you can get it done, so you consistently do it, you know, for the next, every week. 2 reviews a week is manageable. And then invite those people, let's see if you can get in person and see them, you know, might be somebody that you actually like and would want to meet. Then your lunch on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and this example is with those people that are on your A list, people that you know are a person who would refer to you as a good contact for you, you're going to lunch with them. Say you don't have anybody to go to lunch with, then what are you gonna do? You know, you need to get into some relationships somehow. You should be able to come up with a couple people you want to go to lunch with. Now, I myself, I can't stand going to lunch. It breaks up my day, drives me nuts. Well, go have a beer with them. You know, it can work with breakfast. It can do coffee. And you don't have to.
Beer for breakfast?
You know me? Have you ever met me? So you guys understand it doesn't have to be exactly this. It has to be that I'm meeting with people. I'm not just sitting here on my computer all day. So if you were to say I met with 2 people this week in person, that would be okay with me. I would count that. So then on Wednesday, he or she is picking open houses for the weekend, gathering neighborhood data, calling the seller to make sure the house is parade ready. So you're talking about your open houses on Wednesdays. Ninja training says do 18 open houses per year to make the money you want to make. What happens if you're a seasoned agent and you don't want to do open houses anymore? Why would you not do open houses? They're a big pain in the butt, right?
Got other things I need to be doing.
Other things you need to be doing, you're actually out selling houses and all of those, going on listing appointments. So you or someone on your team holding an open house, or you guys having your own listings held open by an agent, but you're getting out and looking at the inventory. If your business is exactly where you want it, you don't have to hold open houses, I'd say. But even the best agents I know will throw some open houses in there sometimes because it creates business for you. So if
Well,
this
people
is,
want to see you. I mean,
well,
if you're an
let's just
established
say you
agent.
wanted to dominate Walden,
Yeah.
as an example. People see you in the neighborhood. They see you when you do the whatever stuff that you do around that open house. So even if you don't want to do them, it's not a bad business plan, especially if you want to increase your business. What he was saying is, one thing I heard that I took my notes on, the goal of Ninja is to increase your business by 30%. If your business is 0, that's not too hard, but wherever your business is, how can you increase it by 30%? If I told you this is guaranteed to increase your business by 30%, would you do it? And then also he said 20% above the market. So what does that mean?
20%
A
above the
Ninja
market,
agent is 20% above the market,
above the other agents.
above the other agents.
More, 20%
So,
more than most
so whenever I do in some team meetings, I'll call it the language of real estate, and we'll have it out here. It's a formula that we do where we take the MLS stats and you guys' stats and say where we are as a brokerage above the market. So the average market sales, for example, is 200,000 average price, but our average price is up, or our listing ratios, it's just the language of real estate it's called. So if, like, say we took the agents in Conroe and said most agents sell 15 houses a year, and yours is, and that's just average across, then yours to be 20% above that. So you're not gonna be an average or a mediocre, you're gonna be in the pool of top producers, basically, right? You're gonna be above the average market. So what the MLS is doing, I mean, it's basically like, I was talking to one of the teams this week, or I guess Monday, and the person said, oh my God, we are slammed right now. Geez, we had 28 leads yesterday. And then I'll talk to somebody else who'll say, the market is dead. Phone hadn't rang, no listings have been showing. So what's the difference in the two? And is it, why is it? So you could look into it deeper, but the idea of Ninja is that you will be with the people that have all that business. You'll be sitting there going, dang, we're slammed.
Picture being on the top row.
Being on the top row is a good one to do. All right, so you decided on your open house on Wednesday, and you are getting ready for the open house. You're reviewing your hot and warm lists for property matches, contacting buyers and stuff. If you have people on a hot list, you're basically remembering to check in with them. If you have people on a warm list, you're checking in on them if you feel it's appropriate. So then on Thursday, reviewing your hot list and warm list and calling and scheduling lunches for next week. So as you're touching base with the 13 people a day, or 12 a day, whatever it is, it looks like on team meeting day they don't make you do it. And then you're saying, hey, let's go to lunch next week for the 2 people that you want to. Then on Friday, contacting each of your sellers and updating new neighborhood listings. Do not call, text, or email. Say call, do not text or email. Calling and contacting the people that you're in, that you either have listings or are under contract with. Like, don't you think, Melinda, that's harder than it sounds to call them all every Friday? And you haven't had any showings, and buyer isn't looking at anything right now. But then if you take the statistics every single year, year after year after year, what the consumers all say is that their realtor didn't contact them often enough. And so the people who are the most top producing say, we don't care if nothing's happened, on Friday we call. And then as you make your calls, sometimes you get price reductions because they haven't had any showings and they're nervous. I mean, it is what it is. It's Friday, we haven't had any showings, what are you going to do? Sometimes it hurts if they don't like you very much, but it's better than just sticking your head in the sand. And so you're supposed to go to lunch a couple of times. You're supposed to, I see. So you're supposed to go to lunch a couple of times with your A-list people. It's your people that you know what it means if it's an A-list. It's a person who would do business with you, loves you, would refer people to you. So when you categorize your database, you're people who you really know you need to stay in a relationship with. You're going to lunch with a couple of them a week, it says. And then you're also doing the real estate reviews 2 a week. So I see you're actually doing 4 in-person things a week. And then you're having your open house on Sunday. And so what basically they're saying is if you do these things like this, you will make $175,000 a year average-ish. So what do you guys think about that? What I think about it is, where's my training? Where's my all this stuff that I gotta do besides all this? It's the same thing when we talk about lead generation. This is just basically a lead generation calendar of your top 20% of things that you do that make you money, and everything else will fit in because it fits in. You won't not go to the inspections. If you said, I can't do the inspection at this time, I've gotta put it at this time because I have a calendar, right? Instead of being reactive and being on purpose. And that's not new information, it shouldn't be. And it's harder than it sounds. You get busy and you've got a bunch of contracts going, some of this stuff goes by the wayside. Anybody ever had that happen? That's a discipline and a diligence that is not easy to do, very tough to do, I think. And let's just say you had a kick butt June and you sold, I don't know what a kick butt June would be, but 10 contracts, and you didn't do any of this. That's gonna show up 90 days later.
That's right.
That's gonna show up 90 days later. And if you said, I gotta at least make 5 phone calls, what would happen 90 days later, right? So you can go back and look at your planner and go, yeah, this is whenever I was slammed. Okay, got it.
The thing about your schedule is, if you're not in control of it, you're giving the control away.
Well, and this is coming from a top producing seasoned agent, and I think as I look around the room, we all know, and you've been in this business very long, that calendar will get you. And it's, oh man, it's my biggest challenge. I was asking somebody, hey, could you say something that I've done well in the last year as a team leader? And they said something. And then I said, is there, I'm not real good at that. And then I said, could we say something I can improve upon? Well, I know the answer, it's my calendar. I mean, it just is. Coming in here and training you guys for 3 hours is not even really my job. So It's the fact that I love impacting you guys so much. That's the part I guess I do okay at. Okay, so take a look at your Productivity Ninja schedule, January 2019. This is, if you guys want to do this and you want to commit to it and you want to embrace it and you go, you know what, Anna, I'm going to give it a try, I'll do it for 1 quarter or whatever you're thinking right now. First you've got to get understanding. So let's say you're in the room and you're a great agent, you've had a great year last year and you're just wanting to master. You've got to take those principal courses. You see January 9th, January 16th, January 23rd, and January 30th. These will be over and over and over every month. For my night ninjas, I'm personally coming in and training them sometimes for the agents that can't make it. But you really only have to go 1 or 2 times, and especially if you're willing to read the book, and you'll have those concepts down. You're not going to have to do this Wednesday calendar forever. However, your skills groups on Thursdays, I'd like it to go in your calendar, and I'd like for you to commit to do it. It'll take you 16 weeks. That's 4 months. This is how I feel about never-ending referrals as well. You've got to go through the whole series and do the actions that are required in the training. So if you think that you don't need the 16 skills, I would challenge you to go to them 1 time and you'll find that they're very much worth it. And you can look at the calendar and see what they are. So Ruth just printed out I've already said it for the whole first quarter, but basically it's 16 sessions, skills sessions, that is once a week on Thursday for an hour. So they're 9 to 10. I've kind of argued about not having them in the mornings because our lead gen time is in the mornings. So if you took that perfect calendar and now you've added a training session in, then you're gonna have to move up those other items or show up earlier or whatever, But I think if I'm you and I want to do Ninja, I'm gonna come to those skills groups every week on Thursdays. I just know that's what I do. And then going about my world from there. So it starts all over, and your skills groups are on Thursdays. So you've got, I guess on January 10th, I don't have a true calendar in front of me. Oh, so skills group January 3rd. What's today, the 2nd? Skills tomorrow, Thursday. So skills group 1 starts tomorrow, Thursday, 9 to 10. If you guys want to do it, and you say, you know what, Anna, I'm going to do it, then come to that skills group and come every Thursday for the next 16 weeks. And tell me how your business is after. Here's your Ninja skills group schedule, because I think sometimes you guys don't know what it is. So what is skills group 1? It's the pre-listing interview. You guys have a pre-listing packet? Do you have a pre-listing interview? We will hand you the materials, and if somebody talks to you about listing their house, you send them you have a pre-listing interview with them and send them a pre-listing packet. We'll create the packet for you. You don't have to go figure stuff out. This is a system that we want you to just say, all right, Anna says I gotta have something.
Are you gonna literally do it, or are you gonna have somewhere we can tap into it?
Well, here's the vision of it is, so when you come to the pre-listing interview, it's a handout,
I
right?
get all that, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So
okay.
there's some things that I'm gonna have to create, and I'm gonna commit to create, and there's some, like, I don't want you guys having to create stuff, but you gotta come and understand what it is, and we'll be giving it to you. And then let's say, your name is Jane Doe, and you say, okay, I'm gonna take this pre-listing interview packet information and go brand it to myself. One of my staff will do it, you guys can do it, somebody on if you guys have admin, it's designed to just be ready for you. I don't want you to have to go create things, I want you to have it. Right now, you could go right now in KW and print a pre-listing package, they're in there. We want you to have an Ninja one, we might have a better one. And we can build on it, you can take it this quarter, do a basic one and add to it. So your pre-listing interview, pre-listing packet, listing interview, practice your listing interview. If you guys don't think you need to practice a listing interview, because I'm the best listing agent on the planet, okay, fine, skip that class. I would challenge you that you're probably not as good as you think. I'm just saying, I could use it. I mean, practicing is, none of us want to do it. And what other sport or thing in life do you just, like, I want to play piano, but I'm never going to practice? Come on. So your CMAs, your pricing objections, commission objections, negotiation skills, and so you guys get it. It's listing, it's buyer. What I would love for you to have is a pre-listing packet, a listing packet, a buyer consultation, for you to meet buyers and find agency, for you to run your business as professionals, for you to have daily activities that you say, I don't care, I'm getting this done today. Living by a calendar, being on purpose, making a bunch of money. I'm sorry, I want you guys to make a bunch of money. Here's your Ninja Weekly Scorecard. So if you wanted to do, I'm gonna ask for a core group, that's kind of why I'm hammering this a little bit. If you guys will take a weekly scorecard, I am willing to hold you accountable and have an accountable session where we turn in our scorecards. I have found that's a just least favorite thing to do is report in what they're actually doing. Because they don't want me to know. Like me, I didn't make any calls. Okay, fine, I know, I didn't either, right?
A lot of it's just denial on our part.
It's denial on our part, and then we get in that funk, and then our businesses don't go where we want them. Do we all believe that accountability is good for us? You know? So on your daily practices and the scorecard you get, I could have a contest, I could do whatever we wanted, but what I'm gonna do is before team meetings on Tuesdays, I'm gonna have an accountability session. You guys wanna come in and do it, we're gonna report in our numbers and our scorecards. You get 10 points if you write your affirmations, you get 10 points. So the people that like points, I mean, sometimes there's people that are competitive and like to outdo each other. And also just score yourself. It's just basically like how I do, like what Terry's saying on Sundays. And we report into our peers. So I can come in and say, all right, guys, I did 70 this week. Cool, better than probably what most people did, right? It'll hold you accountable. So now look at your agreement of action. You guys said, Anna, I want in, I'm in. I would say, here's what you're gonna do. You're going to agree to, I'm gonna say write down your daily gratitudes. You guys can say whether or not you think that's okay. I would say record it and prove that you did it. Your gratitudes, your affirmations, read Mastery Daily. That's just this, this thing that's here part of your package that's like the Ninja Mastery Daily. I've done that at team meeting before. Mastery in one's career, blah, blah, blah.
Same thing in the book.
It's in the book as well. They recommend reading it daily. It's just more of a mindset thing.
This?
Yeah. This is just what this is saying. I didn't make this up, guys. This is just, this is what it is, because you're gonna know what it is. And then, 2 personal notes daily. What I've seen from the book is that they don't necessarily, after a while, read Mastery Daily. They read some kind of positive reading daily. They read something that's gonna increase their life daily. Like when I was talking to Greg over Christmas, I said, can we commit to reading some books this year where we read daily? You know, the only way to get it done is to put it in.
Audible.
Audible, I listen to it on the car on the way to work, right?
I mean, I don't have time, I look at contracts, the last thing I wanna do is read. But I'm in my car so
Yeah.
much.
Absolutely.
Just get Audible, get you some books and download and listen to these books.
And the point of this is we have whatever books it is that we want for our personal growth, and I want you guys to have a growth plan. And some form of positive reading in the morning is proven to increase your productivity. So that's really kind of what it is. This is just a positive thing about being a better person, or whatever you want to call this mastery thing here. And if I took your little planner and said, Anna, I didn't read something positive, but I listened to it in the car every day, and I recorded that I did that. I don't forget to do that, right? That's all it is. So, reading or listening, I'll say, Mastery Daily or something positive daily. Writing 2 personal notes daily, I find tame hard for me. So your skill set, Sweet 16 listing consultation, 10-step buyer process, weekly skills group. When I say, what is the Sweet 16 listing consultation? That's what we would teach you and give you. Your 10-step buyer process, you have it, it's prepared, you just go through it. Your 50 live contacts per week. That's not text, that's not Facebook, that's a conversation either in person or on the phone. Weekly customer service calls that you commit to calling your customers. Keep a hot list and a warm list. This is the simplest thing, and it's not easy, right? It's easy to do, easy not to do. Yeah, I know who my people are, they're in my head. I know, so write them down. 2 real estate reviews per week, if you guys are willing to try it. Update your database and review for change in property matches. Keeping your database, first of all, do you have a database? Second of all, do you have it updated? Thirdly, do you keep it updated weekly? That is not easy, it's tough, we all struggle with it, it just kills me. I have more past due reminders than I'm just, so embarrassed about that. I mean, it's hard.
It's so hard.
And it's 70% of your business. So,
Well, it's one thing to have a database, it's another thing to know what to do with it.
and it's another thing to keep it going and not have it be down here in a pile on my desk, right?
What databases are?
Well, we're using eEdge, which you guys, what's coming with Command, it's gonna be so worth having your eEdge set up that I'm doing Jane is doing today, 11 to 12, database workshop. Jane is one that decided to master eEdge. I decided when I was an agent to master edge. I could walk in and pop you guys' databases, so fast because I took the time that takes to learn it. And any database, you've got to take that time. E-Edge is part of your agent bill. Okay, you can pro it up or whatever. But if your business is your database and you don't really have a database, your database is your phone or you're using some other database, say you were using Brian Buffini or any name here. The reason they work is because they are a database. And it doesn't matter which one you use, it's the fact that you've got one. And that you review it for change in property matches, meaning that you are actually looking at your lists and doing something with the database, not just saying, yes, I've got one. And then now you're committing to this, committing to be a ninja, right? So you sign those and hand it to me, you're gonna go on my list of people that are gonna do it. And then on your next page, I don't know if I've got this in order. I'm on, does yours say page 2?
Yeah.
Okay, page 2. Each week would be a 30-minute fun group in which agents have the opportunity to review their activities for the last week and be eligible to win prizes. This is what I'm gonna do before team meeting. You can call it fun group, team leader lab, whatever you want. It's you come in, it's 8:30 to 9. We check in, you can do your scorecard, or however you wanna do it. It's just basically accountability. I can give some prizes for the top points winner or whatever. It's just a commitment to be accountable. Most successful agents commit to 18 open houses per year. I told you that. I think if you guys don't want to commit to 18 open houses per year, then just give me an idea what you do want to do and we'll hold you accountable to it. I asked my ALC this year. I said, can I please hold you guys accountable? And can somebody help me hold accountable? What do people like that say? They go, yes, you can. Do we like it? No, we don't. If you don't want to do it, saying I'm not doing open houses, okay, fine, what are you doing? Right? I don't care. The Market Center commits to provide training materials on classes, provide design for auto flow materials, facilitate agent commits to providing a database with a minimum of 100 people. So here's what you guys commit to. You commit to having 100 people in a database with their contact information that you want to send snail mail to. Well, let's say you're an agent right now with no money. You say, I commit to do it, but I don't have the money. Fine. Let's say you do have the money. I commit to do it, and I have the money. Great. Either way, you're committing to having 100 people in your database minimum who you would send mail to if you had the money. I'm not asking you to spend money, but it's proven that if you do, your business will flourish, okay? So let's say you're a brand new agent and you don't have 100 people yet. Commit to getting 100 people, and I'll show you how. So you guys are, well, here's what I'm committing to you, and it's really Ruth committing it to you too. We're going to, where am I at here? Provide training
Market
materials.
Center commits.
The Market Center commits, provide design for auto flow materials, facilitate agent commits to providing a database of 100 people. You have to like them, they have to know who you are, and that you have to be willing to call them. This is just how you define a person. If you never met them, I would say don't put them on your list. Agent also commits to grow the database to $250 within the first year to use AutoFlow. So you guys are committing to have 100 now or grow to 100. And then over the course of the next 12 months, you're going to get your database up to 250 people, which could we turn your income into $250,000. If you guys don't believe that's possible, we can grow the database however high we want, but these are the people that are getting the mail outs from you, okay? So right now it's 100 and it can go up to 250 over the 12 months if you guys are really committing to do that. If you guys don't want to make that much money.
Do you send every month?
So here's what it is. So auto flow is 3 times per month that you're communicating with your database. This is just proven. The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, it's a 33 touch. They've changed it to a 36 touch. Ninja is the same because it's just that they've studied it. You have to touch your clients 3 times per month to be top of mind. It's just proven. So it's 2 mail outs per month and 1 email.
2 mail outs per month, 2 mail outs per
2
month?
mail outs per month. So let's say you went to one of the top teams.
That's $150 a month or?
Yes. Right. So you have to have the budget for it. So right now, say you don't have the budget. Well, in the next quarter, I'll get the budget, or in June, I'll get the budget, or you guys know that you're working towards that budget. This is where you're going to start making the return on the money. So we'll show you guys where, you could take a person who's never done business before ever, and even though we all think snail mail is a waste of time, and start sending out 3 touches per month to their households, they will show you the results. Like Bruce Sellers, for example, said, I just declared myself in vet laws. I just decided, I had the income, and I started the farming.
So, are you gonna provide the brand material?
We're providing the material. We're basically, we'll send it for you.
When are you gonna start doing that?
So let me go through that pitch list, okay? Let me get there.
Oh, look
So,
at you.
and I understand why you're asking me. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. You guys have to first commit to, that you want me to do it. And so the market center is going, the agent commits to give me 100 people. The agent commits to grow the database to 250 people. The cost to the agent, if you want a Ninja book, it's $20. I'm not asking you guys to spend money. I want you to commit to Ninja, and then when you have the money, you're, let's say you don't want the book. Fine, I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna say you can't be a Ninja. However, I'm gonna recommend that you get the book and look at it and have it, Purchase a Ninja reference manual. Melinda was asking me about this. I don't really quite understand the value in this $60. New agents, do you have manuals? Did they give you manuals? Anybody have one of them?
I didn't bring mine.
So I'm gonna review this manual business. You find it valuable so far?
Because it, like I said, he said warm list on installation manual, page 47. That was on the videos. Does anybody have, that y'all
So
have?
my thing on the manual is, if you guys have it, great. If you don't have it and you're thinking about this commitment, I'd be willing to even cross through this, but I wanna see what it is exactly.
The
It's
manual
something else.
is, we don't use so much because we come here weekly and get,
Because of all the training materials that we give out.
yeah.
So that's a kind of I might even cross this off the stuff you guys commit to. But I'm not saying it wouldn't be nice
Can
to
you
have it.
still check it out, please?
Yeah, I have it, and I'm not saying not to do it. I'm just saying if I'm looking at the cost of these things, okay, that's not a big one to me. The selling planner, proven to do that this stuff works for your business. You guys tell me right now, yeah, I did about half of what my goals were last year. We could look back at your schedule of what you did if you were able to know what your schedule was. So it's just a time blocking device, right? You could do it on your phone and did do it on your computer. It's just found that this works. So if you want this planner, they're nice, and or use any planners. Donna Rodriguez just walked in. Did you bring some planners?
Happy New Year, everybody. Yes, I did. Sorry I was tardy, but I've got, some of you already have these.
Anybody that wants a free planner that's Texas Homeland, just ask her and grab one, 2019.
I've got more alcohol.
If you guys decide to do it and you come to the things, bring me that planner. I don't care if you're not a person who is going to write into a planner, find some way to report into what you do.
I also have these desk calendars if you want some of those, so,
If you guys
This
purposely
one or the
design
desk?
your week so you believe that you would do more business. So, the book, the manual, the planner, if you want it, $40, that's just what they cost us. We just order them for you and get them, okay? You can look at mine if you want to. Average tax and shipping costs, this is for just the materials of, if you want all of these things, it's basically $150. This is what the new agents, you guys have already bought this stuff. If you're somebody who hasn't bought it yet, or if you want all of it, it's gonna cost $150. Printing and shipping for personally branded auto flow materials will be approximately $1.50 for each person in the database per month. This includes, this says 3 items sent per month, Carrie. I believe it's actually 2 mails per month and an email. In fact, we provide the email also. Okay, but what we'll do is we'll take, you guys will give me, here's like an example of what would happen. You would give me your 100 people. I'm gonna send it to the printer for you, or each month, if you guys want me to review what we're sending. But here's the idea behind it. The market center, which is us, create the materials, have the material sent to print, branded to you. You give me the list of people who is sent, and it just mails for you. So you guys are on set and forget for your people. Now, if you want to change the people, we have to change them, but these mail outs will go out to these people.
So you charge it to the account, the agent account?
They're gonna charge it to your bill, for your agent bill. So you guys have to commit to do it, we create the materials, they get sent, you say, yes, I wanna do it. Let's say 1 month you didn't wanna do it, turn it off, turn it on. Is it a logistical nightmare for Jennifer? Probably. I mean, anybody believe that Bruce Sellers or Jennifer or whoever you wanna name up on that top list sends out mail to their clients? I mean, some of us don't want to send mail to people. It's just proven to increase your sales. You have to just decide. And I'm not even asking you to decide, I'm just saying consider. If you want to do it, then we have to know and you have to commit, because we're gonna spend money on it, okay? What questions do you guys have? What do you think? Maybe? Maybe not. So the rest of this package here is we've already done this, and I started doing this last quarter if you haven't seen these yet. My life list. So look, Weaver, this is your Ford, family, occupation, recreation, dreams. So if you sit down and it's hard, and your brain has to work, and you say, what do I really want? I want for my family, for my work, for my recreation, who do I want to be? And you were to take the time to fill this out. Your financial goal sheet, if you guys haven't done it, I have done this stuff a bunch of times, it's all in my KW systems. And when I actually did it, where I wrote down, here's what I want in my savings account, here's what I want on my investments, here's what I want when I'm grown up, here's how much I'd like to spend on, and I'd like to travel. And I really went down it. My money I needed to make was about double of what I have always said. So why have I made about half of what I need to make, right? Because I had set my goals to not everything on this list. I just hadn't really put some of the stuff in there. I thought if I made, say, a couple $100,000 a year, I had plenty of money. And then I realized that that isn't plenty of money. So you guys first have to start by knowing what you want to make, because all of the things that you do, your brain and your life will surround itself around that. So if you basically, me and Anna, I can't even pay my rent or my mortgage. I just need to sell a house is all I know. That's fine, I get that. I talk to agents about that all the time. But I had an agent recently say, man, I gotta make so much money to get out of debt. I'm $30,000 in debt. And I said, okay, so how many houses do we need to sell to have your cost of living plus pay off your debt? And it's not fun to do, but Dawn?
And you guys, you can see me and I can help you figure this out. I mean, that's one of the things that I do for a living. So if you need to figure out that break-even point is what I call it. What do I need to do to get out of debt, to put food on my table? How many houses do we need to sell? Come see me, we can work through that. I know it's, for you guys, it's one of those things that it feels like a mountain because you don't even know where to begin, okay? So I can help you break through that mountain and get started on it, okay? Because she's right, it's really important. I tell my new clients that are in different businesses all the time, you've got to know what you need to do to make a living. And you don't know that unless you do these numbers.
Well, and the problem is, so many of us are transaction-based, and I just need the next sale. And I'm gonna sell, like somebody might say, you know what, I'm gonna do $5 million this year, Anna, and I'll go, okay, how many houses is that? I don't know. Well, do you think it's 25 or so? Yeah, it's about 25. And then mid-year, I say, how are you on goal? Let's see. Are you or aren't you on that path? You kind of know the goal from the get-go, and then you know whether you're on path or not. So you know what you want to make. Man, I'd just be happy to break even. Well, if that's your goal in life, I'd challenge you to decrease the goal bill. I mean, what about us all doing really abundant stuff and not starving?
But break even is a good starting point.
Break even is at least not stressed out right now about how much the IRS wants.
That's right. That's the next level.
And I mean, I'm not acting like I got it together, guys. I've had, Donna has been and still is my accountant. And there was lots of years where my credit cards were all the way up until I made that next sell and then paid down some. And it's not easy, but it's just being an adult and being grown up and being professional and just getting real about it. So I encourage you, and I would love to bring you accountable to fill this stuff out. Source of business. So one of the biggest deals for you guys is, where am I going to get the business, Anna? You're telling me if I contact 100 people, and I've been doing that, and now I'm not making any money. So some of this is, how did your business go last year? You're brand new, you don't have anything to fill out yet. So what I've taught you guys, if you're new, is that my goal for every new agent is to sell 16 houses your first 12 months. That's a lofty goal, and I think it's a doable goal. If you are an agent who's already been here over a year and you didn't sell 16 houses last year, that's one of my metrics for you guys, because once you get to about the 20 houses a year, it's a different life and professionalism than it is below. It's like that 3 million-ish mark of sales. Now you're making 90,000 in commission, and then you move towards the, go down the list of expenses. So let's say your goal is 5 million, your goal is 10 million. I know this in the room, so you guys might have higher goals than what I'm saying. But you've got to do this how many houses did I sell last year? Where were the sources from? You guys should know when I ask you, unless you're just a new agent, where did my source of business come? How much was it? So, you know, Barbara, you did a little guess there. Probably you haven't done your finalized your financials, Brian, same way. But the professionals will know the sources of their business and how much business it came from it. And where are they spending their money on the right things, right? So look at my business and wealth creation plan. If you guys are gonna be ninja, I want you to turn this into me. I want you to agree to let me hold you accountable to your dreams. The number one thing I wanna accomplish on my life list this year is, say I'm gonna send my daughter to college, say I'm gonna do, it doesn't have to be sell 50 units. It could be, it's your life list. What do I wanna do this year? I'll talk about your growth plan sometimes. Maybe I wanna go to a convention, maybe I wanna take a training, maybe I wanna do a coaching, maybe I wanna travel with my husband, whatever it is. My number one item, survive and make a living, hit my break point. I'm not gonna judge you guys what it is. If you don't wanna share it with me, you can just say, hey, Anna, I'm willing to share some of it with you. I'm not asking it for you guys because I'm nosy, right? I just wanna help you grow. I intend to earn blank amount of money. You guys hear the word intend, not I hope? I intend to make a certain amount of money. Using the ninja formula of 1,000 per household, so this says name. I believe it's household. I don't think you can count the husband and wife as the same as two people. Think of these as household, okay? And if I wanna make, my answer to number one was I'm gonna make 100,000, then I need how many people, and it's written down here. The number I intend to close units. You guys write down your intentions. Then it's easy for us to check in on them. The 3 things that I will do to save time this year are, you guys see this? Based on my analysis, I'll do the following activities. Here's my to-do list every day, here's my to-do list every week. And then your ways to build your database. There's some of you in the room who say, I have enough people in my database. That is a lot easier than I don't have enough people in my database, okay? If I move to another place right now and start over, and I have done this, my number one goal in life would be to get my butt out of my house and meet people. I would be at every event in my community. I would go to lunch with old people that I didn't even really like. I would be out, meeting people. Until I grew my database big enough that I didn't have to do some of that stuff. I mean, Melinda, the Republican women, the Chamber, the Lion, you know, the whatever it is. Will we do that, all of that, just because we love it, love it, love it? Parts of it are to get business, right? Right? So you guys have to figure out how you're gonna build it. If you've already built it, then we just need to purposefully communicate it. And your life shouldn't be very difficult. 150 ways to build your database, and this is the exact same thing Never Ending Referrals does, is weekly tasks to grow your database. Then you have to manage the database, right?
Are you gonna get to do that?
Well, Jane's doing a database lab from 11 to 12 of actually working on you guys' database.
But I mean, the never ending referrals, is that gonna keep going?
Never Ending Referrals is starts this next week. So if you guys didn't take Never Ending Referrals last session, they've really improved it, and it's 8 weeks. The difference in the people that are doing Never Ending Referrals and not, and succeeding from it, and I've told you guys that's a mastery class that we're lucky we don't have to pay for. All over the nation, people are paying for it. You have to do the activities too. You can't just come sit in the class and qualify for property desk and do nothing. If you guys don't have your database into groups of letters, man, I think that is awesome. I love it. And then whenever I have my reminders each week, I just print out my, say it was T&J, I don't know what it is this week. But I just print out the T&Js, actually my staff does it for me. And I go to a list to call, it's like no big deal. Then I don't have to figure out who to call, which is nice. So go down from the instructor here, what are the names of the members of your family? What are the names of your spouse's family? What are the names of your extended family? This is basically a database exercise, and do you have these people in your database? And if you guys all reported to me how many people you have in your database, I think that would be a phenomenal start to your year. And then how am I gonna build them? Do this exercise. And then I kind of went longer than I thought to explain this to you guys because I have the videos, and see what happened was Ruth and Donna went to an installation, which is 4 days. And I study this stuff after hours all the time for you guys, and I listen to it and figure out how to teach it to you. And now we've received, because of that installation, the 9 habits. So there's the Ninja 9. So like say there's one on gratitudes. And we can do this at the 30-minute team meeting stuff if you want, where, I mean, I could send it to you if you guys are all in, but it'll be a 2-minute video on the gratitude part. And like, you know, where somebody said, hey, can we have some ideas on note writing? Melinda said she already watched all of these, and it was really good, right?
Very
I
good.
can send it to you guys, I can do it with you. I kind of wanted to do it today, but I think let's jump into actually some planning and actions for you guys.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Some of us are starting like binders to put the bills in, so that we can reference them.
Yeah.
And secure them in categories.
Yeah.
Could you start doing these on double-sided? Because I go home and just I just put this through and make it double-sided, so it doesn't take up so much room in a binder.
Sure, I think I could do that, I'd have to know how to do it.
It's just a setting on the, it's a setting on the printer I can show you, but, it's just a click on the printer setting. But that would be helpful for people who are trying to bind it.
So that you don't have as much thickness of the binder.
Because otherwise you start getting the big old bold binders.
Yeah, and I can actually, we probably email this stuff to you as well, so you guys can print it if you wanted also, for, if you prefer something. I've been working on the binder as well, so I get that. What other questions you guys have? Thoughts? Why, send me in the room if you're not on board and you're not shy, why wouldn't you do it? You got the cost, right? So I'm not sure I'm in on the mail out. Probably you're thinking, I wanna see what the mail out is.
I mean,
Jana?
you could be committed to it even without buying anything, right? Just
Right.
by coming to the class?
Yes. So you can commit to the mastery part and the skills part. Craig, what are you doing over there?
Make it a mess.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
What are you gonna say?
When the guy said the best book he'd ever read was Slight Edge,
Mm-hmm.
I just pulled it up, and it gives you this pattern that says easy to do, single disciplines made consistently over time, 5% success, progressive realization of a worthy idea. What's uncomfortable early becomes comfortable later. What's comfortable early becomes uncomfortable later. 95% failure lasts a lifetime. I can attest to that in my own world because, I mean, I've been this over 30 years.
Yeah.
So you tend to get that comfort and you can't, because if you let your guard down and get that comfort, then I believe that's when things
Well,
can't make this
and here's my thing that I'm thinking about what she just said too. Let's say you're an agent that does a fair amount of business and you're in the room and you've been a successful agent and you feel you're pretty good and you're a little bit comfortable with where your sales are, and all of a sudden the market shifts or the technology shifts. Right? I mean, you've got to keep up with it, because what happens when you suddenly haven't done your database in 2 years
Right.
and you finally start doing it again?
Yes.
It's so painful. You didn't work out for 2 years and now you started working out.
Right.
It becomes easier over time, but it's hard at first.
Yeah.
Yes, Jana?
Speaking of technology, for those who aren't, of us who aren't that advanced with, getting books on tape or what, or listening to them in your car, what's the best way to do that? Do you go and you buy something on Amazon and you?
Yeah, it's called Audible. It's an app.
Yeah.
The Audible is, you actually get 2 free credits per month. So you get 2 books.
Let's start with where? Okay.
Audible is an app.
Audible is an app.
Oh, it's you.
Download to your
And I
phone.
think it is actually
Audible.com.
an Amazon.
It is
product.
Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they own it now, right?
So you gotta download Audible,
AUD. Just spell it out.
AUDIBLE. And
Okay.
then
It'll
you'll
come right
easily be able to add books to it, like say the one we just said, you just search on Audible and if it's available, you can just download it right there.
$15 a month, you get 2
All
books.
books are available on YouTube and they're free.
Yeah, lots of books are on
Oh,
YouTube for
that's
free.
true.
So
So
that's good.
And then you just watch it.
You have to pay $12 a piece.
They're fun.
Hey, Earl,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
let's stop that video and then we'll restart it for Jane's class and then we'll separate it later.
Sounds good.